Just a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
Truthfully, I just feel like our generation got to step up and start really like doing their homework.
When a boxing icon like Oscar De La Hoya singles out Gervonta "Tank" Davis, it isn't just a casual remark, it's a challenge that carries the weight of history. De La Hoya isn't simply pointing to today's brightest star, he's putting the pride of an entire generation on the line. This is more than hype about a potential matchup. It's a direct test of whether Tank truly deserves to be called the face of modern boxing. By daring Davis to attempt what few in the sport even consider, 5 title fights in a single year, De La Hoya is reviving the kind of grit and pace that defined his own legacy. He's not just questioning Tank's dominance inside the ring, but his willingness to embrace the pressure and endurance that made champions legendary. In essence, the Golden Boy isn't offering a mere challenge, he's demanding an answer about legacy, resilience, and whether today's superstar can rise to a standard set in a very different era of boxing.
This is a dangerous fight for Jake. Gervonta's technical expertise, his speed, his precision, the fact that he's a counter striker are dangerous facts that make me think that Jake's really got to lock in for this one. On the contrary, if Gervonta feels a couple big Jake Paul shots, it's going to be detrimental.
I think this is going to be one of those ones that gets a real good racial split. I think it's going to be some real black versus white shit, dude. Hey, Jake's scared, man.
Unboxing.
I saw it in Jake's face. Jake's scared, bro.
Say a center in Miami, Florida.
More importantly, Tank saw. Gervonta is an animal for real.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
he's just too small.
It just I don't want to beat up somebody that small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody that. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually.
You think
I'm not hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Oscar De La Hoya has made it clear, his legacy isn't meant to sit untouched in the history books. The former world champion has stepped forward with a bold and very public challenge aimed straight at Gervonta "Tank" Davis. The demand? Break the benchmark De La Hoya set during his prime, 5 world title fights within a single year. It's not just a record, it's a grueling test of stamina, discipline, and the ability to stay sharp under relentless pressure. By throwing this challenge into the spotlight, De La Hoya is putting his own achievements back on center stage while daring Davis to prove that today's fighters can meet the same relentless pace. It's a call that blurs the line between personal pride and the ongoing battle for boxing supremacy.
Keep him busy. Tank Davis is not the face of boxing because he doesn't fight often. He fights once a year. And he's probably one of the best talents in the world. I love Tank Davis. I love watching him fight. I love when he goes in the ring and just demonstrates power and speed and he doesn't give a shit. I love that. But he has to fight more often. We want to see Tank fight 3-4 times a year. Tank Davis, I dare you to break my record. 5 world title fights in 1 year. Let's go.
What do you think of Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis? I know on Instagram you called it a circus.
Yeah, boxing is slowly turning into the WWE. That's what I think.
Does Tank Davis have a chance?
Yes, but
yeah?
I don't even want to talk about it. Don't ask me questions like that again.
In today's boxing landscape, where even elite fighters often appear in the ring only twice a year, Oscar De La Hoya's challenge sounds almost unthinkable. Demanding 5 world title fights in 12 months borders on madness by modern standards, but that's the point. His dare is designed to provoke, to question the hunger, durability, and drive of today's champions. De La Hoya casts it as more than a numbers game. He frames it as a call to resurrect the spirit of boxing's golden age, a time when the best didn't hesitate to face one another and careers were built on relentless competition rather than careful scheduling. To truly grasp the magnitude of what De La Hoya is asking, we have to rewind to the year he carved that record into history. It was a season of fire, a relentless stretch where the Golden Boy tested himself against the sport's toughest, and in doing so, set a bar that most believe will remain untouchable. That single year became both a personal milestone and a measuring stick for everyone who came aft.
love to fight Pacquiao again because he kicked my ass. Sorry. But yeah, there were many fighters out there who I would have loved to fight 2 or 3 times.
You know what? So you had enough of Pacquiao, is what you're saying.
Oh, trust me. Right when I walked into the ring, I had enough of Pacquiao.
You thought that when you got in the ring?
Oh, well, Rich, this documentary, my gosh, it's sad too at the end because it shows the whole Pacquiao situation. I was getting beat up in training camp when preparing for Pacquiao. So I knew that was the end already for me because Pacquiao was just coming up.
Yeah.
Pacquiao was like the star in the making. But what really screwed up my whole training for that fight was I started drinking heavy during training camp and nobody knew. Oh yeah. I mean, it gets so I was literally a dead man walking into the ring.
The year was 1997, and Oscar De La Hoya wasn't just another name on the card, he was a force transforming the sport. That year marked a campaign so daring it has since become legend. It began with a clash against the defensive genius, Pernell "Sweet Pea" Whitaker, a fighter many believed would outmaneuver De La Hoya. Instead, the Golden Boy defied the odds, walked away with the title, and set the tone for what would follow. Rather than slowing down, De La Hoya doubled down. He defended his championship against one top contender after another, David Camao, then the flamboyant and dangerous Hector Macho Camacho, and finally the rugged Wilfredo Rivera. Each bout carried high stakes, each opponent brought a different puzzle, and each night De La Hoya stepped into the ring ready to solve it. This relentless run proved he wasn't just holding a belt, he was living up to it. By taking on all comers and refusing to pick the easy path, De La Hoya cemented a legacy that continues to set the standard for what a true champion should look like.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over with.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh wow, so he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay, so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
Jake Paul, you say you want to be a world champion. You say you want to take this sport serious. Then take it serious. This is not a popularity contest. I'm actually praising Jake Paul here to take this serious because I really truly feel if he fights the right fights and takes the right path to that world title, he can actually get there. I'm not sure because it's up to him if he can win it, but he can get there. But he's not gonna get.
But De La Hoya's challenge overlooks a crucial truth about the fight game in 2025. It's no longer the same battlefield he once dominated. For Gervonta "Tank" Davis, this isn't only a question of courage or willingness, it's the modern champion's dilemma. Today's lightweight division is a minefield packed with unbeaten predators. Shakur Stevenson stands out as a masterful technician, capable of neutralizing almost anyone's strengths. Devin Haney, the undisputed king, continues to impose his authority with calculated precision. And lingering in the shadows is Vasily Lomachenko, a living ghost of the division, still skilled enough to disrupt anyone who dares to underestimate him. This isn't just about activity levels or scheduling. It's about navigating a shark tank where every opponent represents a unique danger, each fight carrying the weight of a career-defining gamble. For Tank, the path to matching De La Hoya's record isn't just difficult, it's a gauntlet lined with some of the most dangerous fighters of this generation.
That video of you and Devin Haney sparring, people were going crazy over it. He was just a teen when that happened. How do you feel like his boxing skills have improved since?
I think he was best on his game when he was that age. I think he was like 17. I wasn't that much older than him. I think we probably like 3 years older, apart. But I feel as though he slowed down. All that partying and drinking and stuff slowed him down.
Thank you so much.
Floyd, when you think about the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? Who you would put where?
As of right now, the two guys, the biggest puncher, I feel at the 135 will probably be Gervonta "Tank" Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevens.
You know Vasily Lomachenko, the boxer? Yeah. His dad made him do Ukrainian dance for 2 years. Made him stop boxing And now if you watch him fight, his footwork is insane. Like he's standing in front of a guy and then he'll like switch and throw a jab and circle off to his left and catch him again and circle off to his right. The guy does not know where the fuck he is.
Securing a fight with even one of these rivals isn't as simple as calling them out. In today's boxing world, getting a contract signed can take months, sometimes an entire year, caught in the crossfire of promotional politics, broadcast rights, and network battles. That's why De La Hoya's demand, while bold, veers into fantasy. It asks Davis to leap over obstacles that have little to do with his skill or ambition and everything to do with the machinery behind the sport. The truth is, boxing today is not the same game it was in the late 90s. What once was settled in the ring is now negotiated at boardroom tables. Modern champions face not only their opponents but also a maze of business deals, conflicting interests, and endless negotiations. De La Hoya's challenge may sound like a test of toughness, but in reality, it brushes aside how dramatically the sports landscape has changed.
Truthfully, I just feel like our generation got to step up and start really like doing their homework.
But don't you believe that when it's all said and done, they will be able to respect it?
For sure. Because what they really respect is.
Yeah.
That's what they like. I disagree with that logic too. Like, I'm just like a different type of person to where I understand like boxing is a sport. So guys gonna go in there and they gonna lose. And I know I was just popping a lot of shit about being undefeated earlier. So they gonna come back and try to talk about that. But I'm like being for real on this. Boxing, one guy has to lose. And when you go against the best, and you are the best too, but somebody was just a little bit better, you gonna lose. So it comes with the sport. All the greats have losses. Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns. They was in the era where everybody fought everybody, so everybody had losses. So truthfully, I don't think boxing should be a way where guys just hang on to this fucking undefeated logic that has to fucking keep going, and everybody only likes the undefeated fighters.
The drop in activity among today's champions has little to do with bravery. It's not that fighters lack courage, it's that the financial engine of boxing has been rebuilt from the ground up. In De La Hoya's prime, the sport was powered by television heavyweights like HBO. Those networks invested heavily, rewarding champions who stayed active and keeping them in front of fans month after month. Activity wasn't just expected, it was profitable. Fast forward to today, and the structure has shifted. With pay-per-view models, exclusive streaming deals, and fragmented promotional outfits, fighters often make more from fewer events. The incentive is no longer volume, it's spectacle. That change has reshaped the rhythm of a champion's career, making De La Hoya's 5-fight campaign not only rare but nearly impossible under the modern system.
When two personalities come into the ring together and create the perfect storm. And that's exactly what they're gonna do on April 22nd, is create the perfect storm. And yeah, a lot of guys obviously know I'm with my guy, you know? And this is the reason why we're gonna bring back those glory days, those big pay-per-view glory days, because of this guy right here, Ryan Garcia. So April 22nd, these two guys here are gonna battle it out, they're gonna fight, and I can't do any talking whatsoever because I'm not gonna fight for them and they gotta do the job themselves. But that's the beauty, they wanted this fight. Nobody else. Ryan Garcia wanted this fight years ago. And now it's here, April 22nd, so.
Behind the spectacle of the Garcia-Davis showdown, another fight was taking place, one far away from the bright lights of the ring. While fans focused on knockouts and footwork, the real battle was unfolding at the negotiation table. The most explosive sticking point? A contractual weapon known as the rehydration clause. Ruthless in its design, this provision placed strict limits on how much Ryan Garcia could weigh after rehydrating, effectively forcing him to enter the ring at a disadvantage. Many insiders argue that this clause tilted the scales before the first punch was thrown. To them, the fight's outcome wasn't decided under the ropes, but in the fine print of the contract. It was a reminder that in modern boxing, the paperwork can be just as decisive as the punches.
Ready for the big fight, and it's on. Everybody made weight, but you know what's crazy is that the weight was never ever an issue. Ryan Garcia made it with no problem. But it goes to show you the character of Gervonta's team. No confidence whatsoever. Think about it. You got to put all these clauses and this and that and rehydration clause and to make sure that Ryan doesn't, gain a single ounce after certain pounds. Like, come on, guys, no confidence whatsoever.